We'll go for it. Just where are you this year compared to where last year? I mean, are you comfortable? Do you feel like you've made more progress and are more ready for the season at this point with about a week left before game day than where you were a year ago?
You only gave me one answer. Absolutely. No, we're way ahead of we were this time last year or any year since I've been back here as head football coach. Personnel standpoint, execution standpoint, every phase of our team and program was further ahead, obviously. But today was a good day. We didn't go real long. It was warm. We went out in half pads so we could still play physical across the line of scrimmage. We took our second team guys who were varsity players, not the scout team guys, but our second team guys, and we made them a scout team today. So we had our second team offense go against our first team defense, and we did a lot of run plays, and our second team offense had a tough time getting across the line of scrimmage. And that's a good sign by our one defense. And we took our second team defense and they went against our first team offense, and they brought a lot of pressure, and we threw the ball a bunch of times, and they weren't able to get close to the quarterback, and that was a good sign. It wasn't quite the same as going ones versus ones, but it was our ones versus our very next best that we had, and we got some good reps doing that today. We also went out and worked some today on the kicking game, trying to get our punt team and our kickoff return team some work against all the different looks that our next opponent can bring to us. So good day. It wasn't a real long practice, but we got a lot done. The players are tired. They've gone really hard, really extended themselves, so we're trying to cut the practices back a little bit, but at the same time get our team game ready. So good work today, a short practice, but we got some things done.
Will you do like a big scrimmage on Saturday, or is the time for that passed and you're just getting ready at this point without doing a big scrimmage type atmosphere?
Well, we're going to have a big scrimmage, but we won't tackle in the scrimmage. It'll be thud tempo. It's still the mock scrimmage that we have every year. We're going to do it a little bit different this year. We're going to do it in the morning. We have meet the boulders in the afternoon, so we want to get out and get our practice in and focus on football first, and then spend some time with our fans. And we're excited about that. We're going to come out in the morning on Saturday, and we're going to stretch, and we're going to go through our pregame routine and get right into a mock scrimmage. We'll have our varsity, or our number one defense, lining up against an EKU 1A offense, if you will, our next best that's ready to go. And we'll do the same thing. Our one offense are lined up, ready to go against a 1A EKU defense. And we'll go about 45 minutes so that each side will get about 20-something plays. And then we'll go inside and emulate a halftime. And then we'll come back out and do a second half. And we'll go about 45 or 50 plays. So I would assume that the number one offense would get about 50 plays at potential game speed and game looks, and the same with our number one defense. And then we'll integrate a lot of special teams in as well. It won't be quite as long as what we've done, but we expect the tempo to be upbeat and to be sharp and crisp, and that's really what we're looking for Saturday morning. Really good game-ready execution with our top players going against what's left of the best, running EKU's offense and defense and special teams. So we look forward to Saturday. Today's preparation was to get ready for Saturday, and then tomorrow's preparation will be to get ready for this coming Saturday. This coming Saturday is a big day for our football team.
Is this the first day that you've used scout team to replicate what EKU does?
Well, we didn't use a scout team today. We used our next best players, our twos. Okay, those are the guys that are on the varsity. We have two deep that travels and plays. So we took our number ones and we lined them up against our number twos. The scout team got very few reps today. We used the scout team significantly throughout the course of the season to get reps against the opponent, but also to stop and slow teach some. I like to have our number one defense going against the very best guys that we have available. So we call them 1As. It's the guys that are in the two deep, and the next best guys we can gather up to get a look to. And I thought that was a way to set the tempo today, and to make sure that everyone's lining up right and being honest to their techniques and assignments and alignments. Much more competitive than just a scout team. So we do have a scout team, and we get scout team reps, but today was the ones versus the 1As. But a short practice and a good practice.
Your team's been labeled as a surprise team, a sleeper team this year. Do you like those labels?
I'm really indifferent to it. I don't really consider us a dark horse. I think we consider ourselves legitimate contenders. But that's all. Good. Yes. I could really care less. We've got to play the games and win. That's what'll matter.
You may care less, but how do you keep your players away from stuff? 20, 21-year-old guys, how do you keep them away from buying into those kind of expectations, stuff like that?
Well, our expectations are higher than a dark horse. We think we're legitimate contenders. So we got to play good, we got to play well, and we got to win. That's what's on the agenda for us. They can label it any way they want. We think we are legitimate contenders. We have good players. We anticipate anticipate winning and winning big and having fun and competing for the top spots in our division and top spots in our league. That's what we're all about. They can label it whatever they want.
But the fact that they're talking about your program in this kind of light, is that a step in the process of getting back to where you want this program to be?
Well, certainly it's a step if, all the experts recognize the progress that we've made. I think that's a good sign for our program. But again, we have awfully high expectation levels. Our team does, but our potential could be this season. We have lofty goals and high expectations. That's just the way it is. So, but it is a good sign that a lot of the experts recognize we have a good team coming back. That's exciting. But you got to live up to it. You got to go out there and show up. You got to play. You got to take it one game at a time. And the only game that matters right now is EKU. Play well against a good EKU football team. That'd be a really good sign for our football team. They have a very talented team with a lot of pride. They're used to winning, and that'll be the right challenge for this football team a week from this Saturday.
Is it tough preparing for a team like EKU with Notre Dame looming the week after that? Probably your biggest game in the first month?
Well, the biggest game we have in the first month is the opener. We want to start off 1-0 and play well. The better we play against Eastern Kentucky University, then the better our team is prepared for the rest of the season. So the EKU game is a huge game for our football team. Our team won't look past Eastern Kentucky University. They've seen the film. We know a lot about their personnel. We're going to have to be game ready and play well a week from this coming Saturday to be the team that we want to be. So we're not worried about them looking ahead to Notre Dame. They're focused on EKU. We want to start off 1-0 and play well. That's the best thing for this football team is to win and play well a week from Saturday. That's where our focus is at. That's what we have to do.
With Saturday's scrimmage, is there a position or two that you're really going to focus in on to make any last-minute decisions, or are you just looking at the overall big picture right now?
A little bit of both. We're still working through a mix of guys. At the linebacker position, we feel that Beckford and then Lucas and Robert Macy. They're our ones, but we're still trying to get a feel for who the next guys that are going to go in the game at the linebacker position. So we'll get a lot of work with half a dozen guys at the linebacker spots, and we'll try to get an assessment of where we're at that position. And the same thing's true of the wide receiver position. I feel good about the guys that have played in the past and the guys that are earmarked as the number one on the depth chart. But there's still a handful of guys that we have to get sorted out to see who the next guys are. They're going to be in the game, and we're not sure exactly who that is now. So Saturday's a big game, I think, for our football team in a lot of ways. But we have some things we have to find out about the linebacker position, some things we have to find out about the receiver position, and then we have some competition, obviously, at the right guard spot, and we have some competition at the left tackle spot. Kevin Panfile is doing a good job. He's a talented player. Obviously, we have Justin Kitchens, who's played some. He's been working on the right side with Trevor Floyd, on the left side with Kevin Panfile. Right now, if I had to rate our offensive linemen, I would say probably Ricky Schmieg and Trevor Floyd are probably the top two offensive linemen that we have, and those guys probably have their spots secured, at least as far as the first game goes. But there's still some competition at the right guard spot, and in my mind, at the left tackle spot. So a lot of things to find out. We also need to find out a little bit more about our place kickers. We're getting a lot of field goal competition out there in practice, and obviously Sam McCarthy's doing a good job along with Paul Griggs. And some days Sam has the lead, and some days Paul has the lead, and we got to get some kicks in Saturday, get a feel for those guys, and make some decisions here in the near future.
Just for clarification on offensive line, Peter Stride, you feel comfortable with him at left guard?
He's doing good. Yeah, he's a good player. We minimized his reps a little bit because he's coming off of an injury from a year ago and missed a lot of last season. And when he was able to play, he had very little opportunity to prepare and really didn't play as well as he could, as a result of the injury. So we're trying to be cautious with him. And we have Cody Davis rotating over there quite a bit. I'm assuming Peters would be the starter, but right now I think Cody Davis is doing a heck of a job. He's practicing and playing winning football for us. So he's in the hunt to be in the lineup, that's for sure.
Anything else?
That's it, huh?